office?
Oh, hi, Charlie. Thanks so much for getting back to me.
No, no problem.
I'm doing a story on this Hurley mining meeting, and I just have a couple of questions. I hope
Okay.
maybe you can answer. Um, is there any way in this hearing for people who can't make the hearing to register their vote?
Well, what they can do, we've always taken, if they had testimony, if they wanted to send it to us, we can always add that to the list. As far as registering the day after, that I'm not 100% sure. Or, by proxy. I mean, if they had somebody there, I'm sure that, somebody could fill out a slip for them.
So if we were say to collect signatures from people who couldn't make it in a petition form.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can submit that. You can submit that, and I can add that in.
So, okay, so those could be
Yep.
counted into the record.
Oh, sure.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
somebody would be there representing them, but it's just a lot of people were coming on Saturday and now they can't come on Wednesday, so we just want to make sure to capture, an accurate. Um,
Oh, sure.
so, okay, and then can I just ask why the meeting in Hurley and not in Ashland County?
Well, we looked at a whole lot of places. Actually, Hurley was the last place we looked. We had tried to get as close as we could to the actual mining site, the proposed site, as we could, but we just didn't have any luck. A lot of the places were full. They didn't have nearly enough capacity.
Did you call Bad River?
We did not call Bad River. We did call the schools. We had we called the Mellon School. We had, tried Lake Camp Lodge, for instance. We reached out to the Chamber of Commerce up there. Several different things. This actually, the place we ended up on was kind of a last minute thing that we found. And it just worked out that they were open and had a place that had a reasonable amount of room.
Okay, so why didn't you contact Bad River? They would be impacted by this.
Well, the whole, this mine is going to impact a huge region up there, about a 12-county region. So, we tried to get as close as we could to the mine. And, the real point of this hearing is to give a lot of people who didn't get a chance to speak, say, in Milwaukee or at the informational hearing that we had up in October, a chance to speak.
Right, and there's a lot of people in Ashland County, though, who would, considering that you've now already had a open hearing in Hurley, I'm just curious to know why that was so difficult. I mean, we already had something going on that Saturday. Would that have been impossible to join forces so we could get a clearer representation from a wider location?
The meeting that was going to be held by Jock and Bewley was not, it wasn't an official committee meeting. That was something they were doing on their own. So, we as a committee decided, to hold it where, the best possible place that we thought would be, give people the most opportunity to speak. As well as holding in Ashland, they were going to hold that meeting. So if we were to schedule a meeting right after theirs, Ashland would have had two meetings too. So you're either going to have people in Hurley that are upset that Ashland's getting two, or you're going to have people in Ashland that's upset that Hurley's getting two.
Well, but the meeting in Ashland, as you yourself said, was not an official meeting, that our testimony wouldn't have had to been entered into the records. So it's not really the same apples and oranges, but you've decided to stay at Hurley, even though Ashland and Bad River would be just as impacted, if not more, than Hurley.
Well, the whole area is going to be impacted with jobs and whatnot, by this mine. We feel that people are going to, be able to have the opportunity to speak, their mind. We had hoped that the Senate was going to hold a hearing, and the Senate may still hold a hearing up in Ashland. The ball will be in their court at some point, possibly. So it's not. This isn't gonna. This isn't meaning that this is the last public hearing ever on this issue. I would. We have been encouraging the Senate to commit to doing something up there as well, but we haven't heard anything from them. And rather than wait, we decided to do this, to keep the process moving.
Okay, so you don't know that they'll be, because at the West Allis meeting, Representative Williams was asked several times by several people in Ashland County, specifically offering places. And I think both Bad River and Redcliffe offered their facilities for that.
Well, I guess the only thing I can say is, no matter where we hold these meetings, there's going to be people upset. The fact of it is, people, should look at the fact that we are holding a hearing up there, and we are doing our best to hear from the people. So you can't please everybody, and we're doing our best to give people the opportunity to speak. And the focus of this meeting is to have very individual public, the individual public person to be able to speak their mind, and give what they think. I don't really think that, the issue of this whole thing is not where we're holding the hearing or who or what. It's the jobs we're looking to bring and looking to help out the people that so desperately need to find gainful employment up there. That's what the whole point of this bill is. That's what the whole point of this public hearing is. And people can complain about where we're holding it. And, yes, we take that into consideration. We'd love to accommodate everybody, but you can't. We were being told that Hurley, that the informational hearing that we had in Hurley in October didn't count because there was no bill released. So it's kind of like we're being stuck between a rock and a hard place. If we were not to hold this hearing up there because we already had an informational hearing, we'd be being yelled at because, well, you didn't have a hearing on the bill. So we have the bill out. We're doing a hearing, and people will have a chance to have their say, and they can submit their testimony. They can send it to us if they need, if they can't make it, and we'll be happy to add it to the records.
Okay. And then just my last question is, what is the Representative Williams' position on the violation of treaty rights that this mine would go in? I'm just curious to know why nobody seems to want to address the federal and international treaty rights that Bad River has, and has in fact already said that they have. Wisconsin doesn't give them the right. They have the right to determine through their treaties the ceded land around them. So while mining may not be illegal in Wisconsin, in this particular location, these people have those rights. So I'm curious to know why Representative Williams never seems to mention that.
Well, that's something that we'll look at as it goes on, and the legal aspects and whatnot. I mean, if the bill is ever to be voted on, I'm sure there'll be issues raised, and we'll take a look at that. Obviously we want to do everything according to the law and comply, and we're going to do our best to make sure that happens.
Okay, so you don't see a kind of a conflict of interest like we just saw with the governor announcing that he's lifting the cap when actually the federal government ordered him to, because his law actually, even though he wanted it to supersede federal law, it doesn't. You don't see that same kind of conflict of interest coming down the pike?
What the governor does is totally separate from what we do. If that's, I'm not really going to give it an opinion on that, and that's what my comment would be on that. We're moving along with the process. We've got our, the lawyers that work for our state to help draft the bills and things like that and look at it. And if there does see a problem on the horizon, we will legally, I'm sure that the Assembly would take steps to remedy it. Now, as far as the issues you raised, that's the first I've heard of that.
Of treaty rights, the treaty rights that prevail?
Well, as far as the land, I know that they were given water quality rights, treated as a state recently by the feds. that we are aware of, and that's something that, you know, they hope that they can work out with the tribe. I'm sure.
Okay. All right, and tell me your name again.
Charlie?
Charlie? Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Charlie. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, apparently Representative Mary doesn't know anything about treaty rights.